Welcome to another episode of Driving to the Res.
With your favorite hosts. Yeah, you forgot to say it.
With your favorite hosts, Larry and Inelia.
Yeah, okay, good job.
We did good.
Especially considering how many miles and miles and hours we've been driving.
Oh my gosh. That is a lot of hours.
Yeah, it was hilarious though, because it is literally an overnight drive.
Yes, we had an overnight drive from California to Washington. That's what we did. An overnight drive. Usually, you can do it in a couple of days.
People can do it in a day.
They do. Some people do it in a day. I've done it in a day. But normally you want to stop and have lunch.
You drive for 6 hours. You eat some lunch somewhere. Then you drive for 6 or 7 more hours and you're done.
And you're done, yeah. Usually.
Or you get up late and you drive for 6 or 7 hours and then you sleep.
Yes.
And then you wake up anytime the next day and you drive for 6 hours and you're there again.
There. Yeah.
It's really not that big a deal.
It's not complicated.
5 days later, we arrive.
Yes.
After having driven
all day long for days and days and days.
And got up at 6 in the morning.
Yes.
I mean, we don't get up at 6 very often.
No.
We had help. Because I actually got up at 5:30.
Yes, you did. To let out Tiny, our
to
new
let
puppy.
Tiny out, our new Anatolian Shepherd puppy.
Yes.
He gets up at 1 o'clock in the morning and 5:30.
Yes.
And you can let him out, or you can
clean up the
mess. It's up to you.
You know which one you went for. Let him out.
I let him out. It was honestly kind of fun at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't get out for a walkout very often at 1 in the morning. Mm. And the places that we camped,
they're pretty nice.
They were pretty nice. We camped in
the woods,
forests, national forest, parks, and we camped on a ridge top. Remember that?
That was intense.
That was our first night, right?
Yes.
Very windy. We had driven out of the desert, basically, and we were a bit parched.
Yes.
So we drove straight towards the coast. We got up from Sacramento. We went up maybe, 5 or 10 or 20 miles, and then we took a left and went straight to the beach.
On 20,
On the 20, and we got up in the mountains, and then I was like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
So I took a turn on a dirt road, remember?
Yep.
And what did we find? We found this pullout that turned out to have quads or whatever's, the kind of guys that ride around on their four-wheel machines. Mm-hmm. There was a big, huge parking spot there, so we were going to camp there, remember?
Yep.
And I took Doggy for a run.
Mm-hmm. And then
I found that it was, oh my gosh, this is so pretty cool up here. So we went
up on the ridge.
And we got up to the top of the ridge. We found a perfect spot.
It's beautiful.
Looked out on everything.
But it's very windy. Shook the camper all night long.
And first night with the puppy.
Yes.
He wasn't exactly comfortable with all that shaking and rattling and noises.
Strange
noises, plus his first night with us.
Yeah.
And there's something about sleeping on a ridge, I think, energetically.
Don't do it.
I don't think that did you get much sleep?
No, I did not get much sleep.
Yeah, and we were tired.
We were.
Yeah, so don't do that. I think the energy from the valleys comes out the top of these mountain ridges or something, but holy cow. It was energetic, and the moon was full, light shining in, energy was high. We had the equinox type energy going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's today, actually. Is it?
Maybe. I don't know what day it is.
Today or tomorrow. I don't know. I think it might be tomorrow.
That was intense area.
But it was close enough to it that, you could feel it.
So our first day, we only made it, honestly, 6 hours down the road.
Probably, yeah.
But it's only a 14-hour drive.
Right.
So 6 hours is a good chunk of it.
Considerable amount, you'd think.
So you should be able to finish it the next day.
You would.
And we didn't even get out of California the next day.
No, we didn't even make it out. And we drove all day. We were driving all day.
Since the puppy gets you up at 5:30, and we normally usually sleep until 8 or something. Mm-hmm. 5:30, make coffee at 6, get up and start going 7 or 8, then drive pretty steady all day. There's no real restaurants to stop at. We didn't stop at any restaurants.
No. We occasionally stopped, cooked some food, ate.
We had one takeout fish and chips.
We had a few chips and a few bits and threw the rest out.
Yeah, really didn't sit well.
That's not very nice, no.
I don't know why.
But anyways, we drove and 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 drove. And when we stopped, we were 10 hours away.
Yeah. After driving all day,
yes,
it's a 12-hour drive. We made 5 hours the first day. We drove all day the next. 10 hours to go.
Yes. It was actually 13 hours trip. It's a 13-hour trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first day we drove a few hours, 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. The second day we drove all day.
Literally all day.
All day. And we were still 10 hours short. Yeah. We still had to go another 10 hours.
We just made it to the border of Oregon.
Yeah. The third day we drove all day again.
All through Oregon. We had 10 hours all the way through Oregon.
Yeah, all of it. All of it. We didn't make it all the way. After driving all day, we still had 6 hours left.
We were in the middle of Oregon in the sand dunes after driving all day again.
Yes, yeah.
The next day from the sand dunes, you should be able to get home easily. Didn't happen.
No.
We got to Washington, though.
Yes.
But we only got halfway up it.
Yeah.
So now there's like 3 hours left. We got up at 6.
Yes.
We got driving right away.
Yes, we did.
We drove nonstop except for
hours.
One lunch break.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes.
I drove us up into the woods. I cooked.
We were allegedly 4.5 hours away by now.
Yes. We went into the woods, went off the road, and just cooked something real quick. Some rice and some steak.
Yeah.
Got done with that, backed out, and kept on going down the road. We got to the Shamanchack at 7 o'clock at night.
I know. It's ridiculous.
So how do we fit? How does 3 hours of driving take 12 hours?
I don't know.
For the whole trip. Yeah. That's all? You just don't know?
I don't know what happened, but yeah, that happened.
It was an interesting audiobook, at least.
Yeah, we were listening to a
25-hour audiobook for a 6-hour drive, and we almost finished it.
I know. That was pretty insane.
Did you have any observations on your trip of the State of the Union, so to speak? How's the split coming?
Yeah, the split is coming along famously.
It seems to be splitting.
It's definitely splitting.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. It's really hard. I noticed that going into California, I had a tough time sleeping and stuff, but it was very dry. It's very dry there, so we got a little bit dried. We didn't bring a humidifier and forgot to ask for one when we were there. And so it was a little bit uncomfortable with the dryness, and there was still a little bit of smoke in the air, although not as much. And my trip down there was pretty interesting because, I don't know if I mentioned that before, but the forecast was extreme smoke, extreme heat, very dry.
Yeah, I needed to bring
the night before, I said, well, I think we talked about this already, but it's like, if it matters, if I matter, let's do something radical. For example, bring rain to California so that all the smoke goes away and it gets a little bit damper and lower the temperatures.
Yeah, be nice.
And the next day, Daniela told me there was a massive storm that night.
And it was that night? Yeah, it was.
There was a massive storm the night before, and, she was like, what the hell happened? Did you order this? Well, kind of.
Kind of asked.
Yeah.
Or you set the question.
I set the question, and
the answer came.
And the answer came. And the smoke went from purple to greenish, yellow.
Green-yellow. It'd be yellow for an hour or two, and then back to green.
Yeah. And the temperatures went down, like radically down, a lot. So for the whole week,
100 to the 80s and a little.
So for the whole week, it was a lot different for people in California.
Manageable,
and then we left, the temperatures rose, and the smoke came back.
Well, yeah, it felt like we were kind of asked for about a week.
Yeah, a week.
You got a week vacation or a week pass.
Visiting, yeah.
A week pass.
A week's pass for California.
1 week pass for California.
Yeah, but at the end, I felt very uncomfortable. Still, even though it's comfortable, it was not deadly for me, but it was not 100% comfortable because of the heat and the dryness of it. Daniela lent us some diffusers.
Steamer diffusers, yeah, they put air.
That makes a huge difference that night, the last night. But we left, and on the way out, I had this energy about me that I noticed I had it there too, and I couldn't put a name to it. It was almost like irritable, but not. It was like disquiet, between irritable and disquiet.
Restless,
yes. Those are the words that come closest to it. And I was processing that energy and looking at it, and it was just there. It was just kind of there. And then suddenly I felt it was gone. And I looked around and I asked Larry, I said, are we in Oregon or something? And he said, yeah, we were in Oregon, yeah, for a bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
It was the environment in California. And I know that in California, when I lived there, Gaia said I had to leave in 2014. And I said, why? It's because she had other plans for California.
And you probably said
compatible.
No.
I said no, yeah. And I wasn't compatible with those plans, so that's why I had to leave. And I can see the level of stress and everything there is not compatible with me. That I felt. I'm sure other people are very happy there and they don't feel that level of stress, but I definitely do. So that was interesting for me. And coming up, the further north we got, the more relaxed I became and the more comfortable I became. But something happened while I was there and during my trip up. And a couple of things we were quite interested in and listening to and spontaneously receiving information about ETs and ultradimensional beings. That was interesting. We talked about that last week on our podcast. But the other aspect of it is like a very, very deep awareness that people lived there in the different areas.
Remember, you kept saying that over and over.
Yeah.
People live here.
And it was like, it's not just a random comment. It was like a deep awareness of people live here. They live here. All the way up. And even today here in Shaman Shack, I felt that deep feeling of people live here.
Maybe you don't notice, but the oddest thing about it is you'd usually say that when we were literally in the middle of the wilderness and there was nobody there.
I did not notice that, no.
You would say that when there was nobody there.
Huh.
Like where we were eating lunch.
Uh-huh.
That was off the freeway 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
15 minutes up in the forest. And he'd said that people live here. And I'm wondering, where does that come from? And there is nobody here. You said that every time that you brought it up, there would be nobody there.
Really?
When you brought it up today, it was in the fields back there, and there's nobody living there.
That's an interesting fact about it.
Yep, so it feels to me, when I tap into it, feels like there's I guess, a multidimensional reality where more than one layer of real exists simultaneously in the same literal space that you're standing.
Mm-hmm.
And another layer of reality, you're there but not present in that other reality. But they're here and they're there, while they're different, they're here.
Mm.
So where we're standing in the wilderness, people live there, but they live there in the other layer. Kind of what
that makes sense.
Because it didn't make any sense when you would say it every time. I'd be like, people don't live here.
You said anything. You said, okay.
You said it on the beach too. We're on the beach with all these rocks and some ocean and no house for 100 miles. Like, people live here. Like, okay.
Well,
here, like 100 miles from here, yeah, but not here.
From my remembrance of it, I could feel the people's houses. I thought I was saying it in the middle of cities and whatnot.
Yeah, I think there's another
a
layer.
Yeah, it must be
another layer that you're becoming aware of.
Mm.
That's one of the things that I think the alien visitor girl was talking about too. Remember the layers of real?
Right. So those are, like, the trip was very interesting. The amount it took us to travel, it's almost like we were folding, or the road was unfolding and becoming longer for us, maybe we were going through ultra-dimensional other realities, because how would you explain it otherwise? Right?
I can't explain it. I mean, I don't even know how we had enough food. And we haven't even really made a dent in our food.
Yeah. Well, we did go shopping too.
At the very last day.
I think we did.
Food for the house.
That's true. Yeah, we didn't eat very much and very small portions, and I
Tiny
wasn't
portions,
hungry.
yeah. And I packed when we went down for a couple days down, a couple days back, maybe gone 4 or 5 days. Didn't know that we were going to spend a week down there and a week driving back. And I definitely didn't pack for that.
Right.
I remember I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But I did have to dump a thing.
Oh.
And
pooper.
in one day, in 1.5 days, it had a week's worth of in it. I had to do that a lot of times this trip.
Yeah.
Something unusual.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because usually you can make an
day,
entire trip.
A whole week.
Whole week, no sweat.
It doesn't fill up.
A day was full.
It was. Yeah, you're right. We were like, how did that happen?
Because we are just 2 people and we don't go there.
And you don't
and I use the other bathrooms,
exactly, you do. The camping grounds.
Yeah. We had Brett with us the other week, and it lasted an entire week.
It did, yeah.
Okay, that was crazy. So it wasn't just me that thought that was strange.
It was strange. But anyways, that was pretty interesting. Interesting trip. Interesting reality matrix. It's kind of flexible. Fluid and flexible.
Yeah, we might have been experiencing that. That could be an answer to it.
Yeah.
So it does feel like the split is becoming more splitty.
Yeah.
And it seems like the attempts to re-engage with the splitties isn't really met with welcome open arms anymore. It's kind of like stay in your and you stay in your. It's kind of like split.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as much mixing of the reels.
Yeah.
There were definitely places that we went that I felt like turn around and leave.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep.
We were going to go to, I think it was a restaurant, but I don't remember what it was. And we went to it and we just thought to the door and we're like, no,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. We turned around.
Yeah. I would have never predicted that's what our reel would be now. A couple of years ago, you know.
What?
The level of physical split.
I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how it was going to manifest, you know. It's like, how is it going to manifest? I don't understand. But, okay, let's see.
Yeah. So, a couple of things that come from and talked about the split. I think you had said there were some questions about something like, and it's probably comes about as a consequence of mixing split, which is the dark night of the soul type of stuff. I'm not exactly sure what that is. What is that?
So when people say the night that, then
they're
dark
going
night,
through a dark night of the soul, or
what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
To me, my thought was that was like a super trying environment or place. Like you go in there and you're entering a crucible where everything is super intense, and at the other side of it, if you make it through and you don't like subsume or whatever, get absorbed by that, you come out either stronger, wholer, put together through the crucible of intensity, or it just absorbs you up and you spits you out as an addict or something. What do you think? What is it?
Yeah, it's interesting to define it even, because growing up I always felt it was when people went into a depression, and it was like they're going through a dark night of the soul where you question everything, the meaning of life and why you're here and all that type of energy. To me, that's what it meant. not really engaging or enthusiastic about the physical reality that you're in, or even your life. But mostly the word question your reality. For me, that's what it meant as I was growing up. More recently, though, to me, the words that are used to describe it are very key in the meaning. It doesn't say dark night of the physical body, or the emotional body, or the mental body, or the ego, dark night of the ego. It says the soul. It's a soul thing. And as we know, we are made up of two bodies. One is the soul and one is the physical body. Right?
Physical elemental.
Yeah, physical elemental body. And the other one is, the soul is a very subtle body.
A subtle elemental body in a way.
Mm-hmm. Very subtle, very
More
subtle. And it's about the soul. So to me, when I look at it from that perspective, it feels like the soul goes through a crisis, of experiential crisis.
A soul crisis?
Yeah, it's almost like I'm here in this physical reality.
Why?
working within a physical body.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I really want to be here? What am I doing here? Why am I here? Right? That to me, that's where it goes.
I see.
And
that makes
then
more sense.
There's a couple of ways out. One of them, as far as I've seen, is for the soul person to reconnect with their physical body elemental, because often this happens when the person disconnects from their body, right? And that disconnect can happen, like you said, through drugs, alcohol, obesity, unhealthy environments and whatever. And the reconnection with the physical body elemental is key into getting that soul back on track and realizing why they're here. Because it's all about connection with the physical universe. And also reconnecting with your environment, physical environment, but also, most importantly, and a key aspect of soul experience here on this planet is connecting with other people. Connecting with other people of your frequency. Right? And how do you do that? Earlier we were talking a little bit about that, because we have a new puppy and we have to introduce a new puppy to the pack, the dogs that we already have. And we have to introduce that puppy to us to see, how do you live with humans? How do you live with us in particular? Mm-hmm. And that can run away and become very difficult very quickly if you don't deal with it right away with that puppy. But it doesn't happen automatically, because if you leave it to be automatic, it can be a mess. It's not pleasant. Right?
Well, in our case, particularly because of Lucy.
Exactly. Lucy, she's a big guardian.
She's
dog.
On the aggressive side, the red zone side.
Very red zone.
Possessive
very
side, injured side.
Yeah. She's
She's all of the difficult parts of a giant
When you
dog.
brought her home, she was a puppy and she growled at you and snapped at you all the way home. I mean, that's an injured puppy, right? It's not just a guardian dog that's injured. And, we stuck with her, but we had to build 8-foot fences and she still got run over and everything else, and she does attack people and she will kill somebody if she gets out. And she tried to kill that puppy, right?
Yeah.
So, but obviously we didn't let her near him.
No, I muzzled her and I leashed her and I leashed the puppy too. And then I introduced him. This has been a day. Mm-hmm. I gave him a day to sniff butts and be on either side of their little fence, and then fed them with the other two dogs, who they're acting very strange, honestly. Yeah. Because Tiny is another one of those guardian breeds.
Yes.
He doesn't have back down in him. He doesn't have
manners.
I don't think it's manners. It's a fear response to aggression.
All right. Yeah.
So if Missy barks or growls at him, doesn't do anything. He literally looks at Missy's like,
"What, are you talking to me?
Me? Or somebody behind me? Or what's going on?" Yeah. And Lucy goes berserk or red zone, gets really, really mad at him, and he just sits down next to her on the other side of the fence, literally almost touching her, and she's going berserk, and he's like, "Just, that's how you talk, I guess." It's like a normal talking day. It's like, that's crazy. But he's afraid of water. He's afraid of butterflies. He's afraid of stairs. He's afraid of a little hill.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Couldn't get him to walk down this hill.
Right.
Yeah. But dogs, not afraid. Not a bit.
Mm.
So Missy and Romeo are sitting on the cement, giving him some space, and he has all the cushions, like Peavy does, you know? He's got all the cushions. He's laying there. It's like, come on, guys, come lay down. And they're like, no, we're not going near you. We don't know you, stranger. And he's like, okay, nice pillows you guys got. But yeah, to introduce Tiny to Lucy, I know is going to be a process of a couple of weeks or something. Yeah. Hopefully faster, but not rushed.
No.
But also not left
by itself.
Not left to their own devices. Lucy has to be supervised.
A natural
and he
result
has to be supervised.
Of leaving them to do the dog thing would be that he would be dead in a few seconds.
Yeah,
she would kill him.
She would probably kill him because that's what she's for, is to kill intruders.
Or stranger dogs, yeah.
Well, bark at him first, and if they don't leave, then bite them.
Yeah. Wolves and coyotes and other dogs. That's what they're for.
So on a positive note, it kept all of our chickens happy and alive and clucking all over the place. But on a negative note, we know that that's part of her makeup.
Yeah.
So we don't just toss another dog in the mix and expect it to work. But the other part is that we have to communicate with our cohabitors the gravity of the situation, and it's hard to necessarily get that gravity through because it's the dogs as far as they know, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's a thing that goes probably part of something we can continue to talk about is living as a group or a tribe or a community.
Yeah,
how to communicate things, you know.
Yeah, so it is part of that, you know. A lot of lone wolves are listening and they're finding their tribes.
Yeah, a lot of you are. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Good job. Good job.
Now that you have found
your tribe, a tribe.
What now? Do you passively allow them to, you know, assimilate you or whatever you would call, or are you a active part of the process?
Exactly. Yeah.
What words did we come up with that? Remember at the beginning? There was 2 words. Last time it was coercion and
free will.
And this one was passive consumer.
Oh yeah, consumer.
You're a passive consumer of
the group.
Basically, you show up and you
expect
eat the food and
to be entertained.
Expect somebody to direct you, point in the directions and
feed you,
include you or exclude you or ask you.
Yeah.
Or are you the active
co-creator of the food and the activity and everything?
The co-creator of the tribe, the maker of the activity, the inviter of the activity, the doer of the stuff, the understanding of the personalities, the research to understand how groups cohere.
Exactly.
You know, the active participant.
Yeah. I remember thinking, well, you know, what do we do with a dog? We take them for walks. It's well known that you take the whole pack for walks, and that accelerates the integration of the new member of the pack.
Walking together, yes.
Yes. So I was suggesting, why don't we grab the new members of the human pack and take them for walks together?
Walks with the dogs. That's a good idea.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the type of thing, you know, it's like, it's not just gonna happen when there's a
pack of lone wolves.
50-year-olds will pack lone wolves living together in the same house or in the same neighborhood. It's not going to happen.
They're going to be lone wolves in the house together apart.
Yes, living alone.
Probably with little fences between them. Don't cross these boundaries.
Yes.
You know, this is my space. This is what I got. This is my thing. This is how I eat. This is how I sleep. This is when I get up. This is, you know, all of the... You bring your lone wolfie with you and then try to lone wolfie together. Guess what?
You have to learn how to...
With a really good luck, with a right amount of luck, sometimes it'll like work. It could be like 2 individuals living in the same vicinity that don't intrude on each other's stuff. But mostly, yeah, that's probably going to not be what it means to join a tribe.
Right. So one of the things that's really important, both to step out of that dark night of the soul, but also because it's connected, right? What happens, what is that dark night of the soul? Is disconnect. It's disconnect.
Disconnect from your physical body, and this is disconnect from...
Physical body, the soul needs a connection with the physical body. It needs a connection with other people. It needs a connection with the environment. Without those connections, it's going to go into darkness. And that's what causes it.
I see.
You see? That's what it's about. Right? And in this specific time frame that we're at, you cannot be by yourself. That's not going to help you. It's not going to be easy for you. You need to connect. You need to seek out other people of your frequency and connect. But the why has to be there. And that's what's important. Why would 3-4 lone wolves living in the same neighborhood, why would they want to go for a walk together? Why would they want to connect?
Yeah, why?
Right? That's important to know the why. The why, your why has to be really, really known by you. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
So if you don't have a strong enough why,
it's not going to work.
Not going to do it.
Right.
You literally will have found a tribe and not join it.
Exactly.
And I don't mean join it. It's like when you go and say, oh, I wonder if they'll accept me.
When?
When you're...
I never do that.
I know you. I haven't said the finished part. Honey. Give me a second.
Okay.
When you go around a group and you say, I wonder if they'll accept me, you never say that.
No, I don't.
It's the other direction.
Yes.
Will I accept them?
Right.
So when you join in a tribe, is this group interesting? Yeah. Well, this is, I'm going to make this group interesting for me and for them. Not just, I wonder if they're interesting. This is a bigger connection.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah.
And the why.
Right.
Why.
There's both.
Why are you going to do that?
There's both. Sometimes it comes from an area of, I have this fabulous interest. I wonder if anybody else is interested in it. Right? And that has worked wonders for me. And Walk With Me now, for example, I have an interest in learning French. And there's a lot of French speakers and French people who don't speak French at all who are interested in the same thing. And we started a group. And today we had the first German group.
Yes,
I was very interested in learning German until somebody set it up and needs a lead.
It's nice to learn the language, but it's
the connection.
It's even nicer to make the connection for a number of reasons.
Okay, number those reasons, honey.
5.
5 reasons? Okay.
Yes.
1.
Companionship.
Okay.
Connection.
2.
Connection. Not only do I know these people are part of our tribe, I know who they are. I know their voice, how they talk.
3.
I know their laughter.
Get to know them.
Yeah, it's a more intimate connection than, oh hi, you're here too. Oh hi, you're here too.
Right.
It's like past casual.
Yes.
Into
that was only 3. So do you have 4?
Well, I've said a bunch of things anyway. You should have been counting fast.
I was counting, but you didn't give me more numbers.
Okay, and 4. The reception of giving and receiving. So having receiving practice in the case of this, receiving information, I mean, I didn't say, here, I'll give you $50, teach me some Spanish. I would like to join this group learning some German.
Yeah.
And there were people who said, oh, well, I know German very well, and I would love to share my language with you.
Yeah.
Teach you. And I will do a little bit of work even, and put it together in a way that I think it's going to help you understand the language. Yeah. We'll have a picture book, we'll have some words, we'll share it, and we'll have some laughter together. Right?
Yeah.
So that was receiving. I was on the receiving side, completing circuits.
Yes.
So that was 4 and 5, I think.
Yes. The circuit.
Yes.
It needs to be complete.
So now that list, if I made me do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I wouldn't be able to get it. But if I listened back, I probably could. How about you?
It's very good. Very good connection points.
It's very good connection points. And not walking down the street saying, what's my job today? Oh, I need to cut the grass. That's a task.
Uh-huh.
I need to go to German class, not to learn German so much as to connect with
German.
German?
Connect with German?
Yeah, there's a little of that, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's the connection.
The connection is fun.
So I have a job, mow the grass. I have
right?
a job,
Mm-hmm.
purpose of my soul to be in my physical body, which is connection.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those ways
To
that
connect.
you can actively engage in the connection by the receiving and the giving
Yes.
of the joy of learning, I guess.
Yes. You know what, though? I don't think anybody missed us when we were gone for a week. Or 2 weeks. I can't remember how many weeks we were gone, but we stayed in California for a week.
We were gone forever. Lucy, you're here.
Nobody cared.
No. Missy.
Fred came out after half hour or something, say hi.
Missy was at the gate wagging her
I
tail.
think
We got
Martha
gone a
and
half
Dan
an hour.
were
We
even
got 2
gone. They
weeks.
weren't even here.
Not even here. They probably didn't believe we were actually showing up.
Yeah, I don't think anybody missed us.
The chickens didn't come say hi.
No. Ignored us. The cats did, though. They
Brad
both
did.
came out. Yeah, Brad and
and
Theodora came over. Said hi, hung out with us for a bit. We're very happy to see us.
Well, I think the point I was trying to get at, though, we were talking about dark nights of the soul, and we're talking about connection and physical body connections. Cats are good for that, if they're yours. Is that the point? The point is, when you're going about your daily life, one of your jobs in this time is not just finding your tribe, connecting with them too, right?
Of course, yes.
Well, I mean, you say of course.
What is the joining? That's the whole point.
You say of course, but I've seen it 100 times. There's 10 individuals in the room.
Yes.
And what is this group going to, what's for me? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to get out of this? Or,
consumer.
Right. And
Passive
the get out
consumer.
of it can also be the, remember power, service to others and service to self and all that stuff. So some people show up to service others.
Yes.
They get out of it. Oh, I get to XYZ. Help all these people.
Yeah.
And the other ones are,
help me.
Entertain me.
Keep me busy.
Fill up my day with some
Keep me engaged.
reason.
Keep me interested to stay.
So we're talking, these are some whys.
Yeah.
Some of the individual whys. So there's more to it, is the point I'm trying to get at. There's more to than just servicing
passively
yourself or
arriving and expecting to be
others
served or serving and be entertained and just like convinced to be staying whatever's right.
Well, I remember there's you wrote an article about this a long time ago, and I think I read it at the same time I was reading some channel stuff. All that channel stuff kind of at one point or another like melted into each other. They were like basically all said the same, and it was that service to self was bad and service to others was good. Remember?
Yeah. What did my article say?
Service to others is service to self.
Right.
And power of self.
Service comes from the word
serve us.
So slave.
Slave to yourself or a slave to others. Right?
Neither is good.
Neither is great.
No.
So you don't want to bring service to self, service to others, either one of those into your tribe.
No, you don't.
What do you want to bring?
You want to bring
power
engagement.
Of self, engagement.
You want to bring engagement, proactivity, interest.
Interesting and interested.
That's it. Interested and interesting.
Right.
And that works great for relationships too. Friendships and any relationship.
And consideration.
Interested and interesting.
Consideration for the fact that you're probably engaged with a bunch of lone wolves.
Yeah.
And they're not professionally adept at not
Making
being
you
lone
feel
wolves,
welcome.
making friends, making you feel welcome. having the right kind of manners for whatever it is that makes you a particularly lone wolf, you know? So basically that's called patience and consideration.
And go for walks together.
Go for walks together, sure. Collect mushrooms together.
Yeah.
Walk dogs together.
Yeah.
Do crafts and arts and stuff together.
Yeah, there you go.
Build things together, maybe.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Projects together, but you put away some percent of your time for your tribe activities, right?
Yeah, yeah. So,
but not specifically only then either. In other words, okay, on Sunday at noon we meet. All the rest of the week we're alone. No,
that can happen.
That can happen. Yeah, it's like, oh no, I can't see you today. We're going to be seeing you on Sunday. Yes.
Yeah.
Lone wolves are very creative about how they structure their... It's quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Have you ever heard about a married couple that live lives completely separate lives together?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, they can manage for quite a long time like that.
Until one of them meets somebody who actually enjoys their company.
Yeah,
to hang out with them.
time when that happens, guess what?
Yeah,
it's
over for the other one.
Most times, yeah. I guess it's an important thing to, if you're listening to this, contribute to the conversation of what builds a healthy and strong tribe.
Yeah.
Not healthy and strong tribe of bunch of followers, a healthy and strong tribe of lone wolf alphas, basically, right?
Yeah. Sovereign beings.
Why would you even want to hang out together?
Exactly.
Give me a good why, honey.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a strong enough why?
For me. That's all you're going to get. It's more interesting than not. That's it.
You got to work on your whys, lady.
Whys are strong enough for me.
Big enough for everybody.
Not for everybody, but for me.
Because some people, interesting is watching YouTube.
Well,
that's pretty interesting. I can do that for a couple of decades. And I'll be fine.
But not quite, because what do? When you watch your YouTubes, you do it in public so that you can tell people, look at that truck. It got stuck in the mud. Look. Oh, you missed it. Let me rewind it. Honey, come look.
I'll rewind it for you.
I'll rewind it for you.
You're so
Please
excited.
Don't.
Don't rewind it.
Please don't rewind it. Here, see?
Look
at it.
Honey,
look at it again. Look at it.
He's never getting out of that. But look.
It did.
He did get out. So most of us are going to need a bigger why.
Yeah, okay. Connection.
Think about the lone wolves that are joining tribes. Mm-hmm. Think about our own group here, for example.
Yeah.
What whys would they have for, like, a new person shows up, including them and taking into consideration what they're going to go through? Maybe their own dark night of the soul, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they got here, even.
Maybe. Yeah.
What why would you want high frequency individuals picking new paradigm who've done a lot of work that's, your work, your classes, your tools, use those tools regularly. Why would you want that person around? Why would you want a tribe of those? What could be a good why?
Well, there's a few things. I guess interesting is one of them. But also, any type of project that any of the members wants to do can be done extremely fast because there's so many people there who can be there doing that with you. That's another one. It's very empowering. The empowerment increases when you're not on your own. What about you? What would you say? What is your why, Larry?
There's only one why.
Only one?
Yeah.
What is it?
Create the new paradigm, of course. don't want to passively exist in the old paradigm.
Okay.
I want to actively exist in the new paradigm.
That makes sense.
You need co-creators for that.
Yes.
And if you just go willy-nilly and pick any old co-creators, guess what?
It doesn't work.
Well,
you're not going to be creating a new paradigm.
No, you're going to be drawn into the old.
Yes.
So that's 100% A plus reason right there.
Yes.
Because you're not going to find any better co-creators on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my why.
A plus plus. I like it.
That's my why.
Yeah.
So that means I give thought and consideration for what tools and trips and tips and books and classes and YouTubes and things can contribute to making things more solid. But I have to admit that, sometimes it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another energy that I've seen, that I really like, a new energy that I've seen in all the lone wolves that came up to the Olympic Peninsula, is that many of them are coming up now and saying, hey, I found this really fascinating class on XYZ.
Yes.
Anybody else wants to join with me?
Yes, I love that.
Isn't that cool? So everybody in the tribe joins that class for the day and then can talk about it and study together and all that stuff.
Yep.
Someone is taking classes on fork tuning meditations and another one on creating greenhouses, I think. I can't remember.
And one of them found another group of people who are speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And part of their own tribe in, a nearby town. It's like, hey, you guys want to listen or join or talk to them too and see how say hi?
Exactly.
And I didn't have to go look for them.
Yeah.
They were brought in to go look at together.
Right.
That does make for a much more interesting life.
It does, yeah.
A++. Good job, tribe.
Good job, tribe. Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's all about connection.
So the best way through a dark night of the soul is reconnection with your physical body. Because the reason you're here is physical. Body experiences.
And reconnect with.
And then also reconnect with individuals around you.
Yes.
That are your high frequency.
Mm-hmm.
That are compatibly high frequency.
Yep.
Because if you connect with the ones that are in the low frequency,
it's not going to help you.
You're not going to get out of your dark night of the soul. You need to connect with the high frequency members.
Right.
Now, when you do that with your high frequency members, I guess the thought is that it's all milk and honey or something. That nobody else in that whole high frequency group is going to be anything but happy, cheerful, and welcoming all the time forever. Yeah.
They
don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed once in a while. Or get crabby or get tired or have open doors of their own that sometimes are triggered.
Right.
Now, the majority of the time, my experience is they don't.
Right.
But occasionally it happens.
It happens.
Yeah. So you have consideration and patience.
Right.
That doesn't mean they're low frequency. It just meant they had a low frequency or an open door to a low frequency happen. Maybe they didn't sleep. Maybe they didn't eat. Maybe they didn't whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you help by say, hey, do you need to take I don't think it'd be a good idea to say, you look super tired. Well, you want to take a nap? I'll watch your kids. But, you can be considerate of the thought that, okay, did they eat? Are they thirsty? Are they very tired? Is there some way that I could support them that might pull one of those things without, I guess, triggering them even worse?
Right.
Yeah. So you got to be creative sometimes, I guess. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of moving parts, honey. I don't think I've totally, I know I haven't really got it down yet. Mm-hmm. But I think that we have enough people in our tribe, Walk With Me Now and Talk With Me Now, that there probably are some good inputs. And I want to look on the Talk With Me Now and Walk With Me Now and see if there's books, there's YouTubes, there's trainings, that kind of thing, that help build a healthy, happy, cohesive group of people. I know I got some books, but I just haven't read it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Actually, interestingly enough, the last Spanish call that we had, the broadcast, was about how to create a powerful, cohesive, high-frequency group.
Too bad it's in Spanish now. I gotta learn Spanish. Is there an English translation available?
Why don't you do it in English, eh?
Can you do it in English, please? That's an inside joke, because every time you ever did a class, you oftentimes would get like, can you make it in Spanish, please?
Yeah.
This time, can you make it in English, please?
Yeah.
Is that a no?
No.
Okay, then. We'll make our own English-German group.
There you go.
Learning how to create a cohesive group.
Yeah.
I think in the instant manifestation workshops, those go through the process of creating a healthy group.
Yes, they do.
And they have very strong why to stay
a lot
together.
of the structure is aimed at creating a powerful manifesting group.
Oftentimes our events and the gatherings basically create those connections.
Yes. Not by accident. They're designed to do that.
Yes.
They're designed to do that.
That's a good reason to go, is to have and experience that.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So are you going to have another one soon?
Not soon.
Are you going to have another one not soon?
Yes.
Okay. How long is not soon?
I don't know. It's very
when
fluid.
Gaia says, hey,
yeah,
you'll say, okay, probably.
Maybe. The other projects, of course, this week, in a few days, we're going to, Monday. Actually, yeah, I guess when this is released is Monday, so we're starting the proofreading of the Earth Files, the second book in the Return series. And that's a nice, beautiful, cohesive group that formed to proofread it, which is excellent. It's a different way to work. Before we gave it to proofreaders, multiple ones to work on it. But this time it's going to be a team, so I'm hoping that
the team way
works.
Works good. Yeah, that'll be nice, because it feels like, it's a marathon to try and read that in the altered state and look for corrections.
Yeah.
But maybe as a group, you can keep each other together in that high frequency altered state together.
Yes.
Maybe it will. Yeah, we're going to see.
We're going to see it. It'll be interesting to see.
Okay.
So to me it is interesting. The word interesting is why I join groups and why I stay in groups and that. And it's not something I ever did before. I never actually had found anyone or any groups interesting enough for me to stick around with them. As a child, growing up, as a young adult, and even an older adult. Never did until we formed Walk With Me Now, and then all these interesting people started arriving. That's when I thought, this is interesting, and it's interesting to form all these other subgroups and sociocracy groups and everything. So it's brand new to me, like this, and to me it is this strong, wide, interesting. That's what drives me.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to belittle your why. It just wasn't a big enough why for me.
I understand.
But I'm glad to know that's what it takes to keep you engaged, is to be interesting.
Yes.
I shall be very interested.
Yes.
Is there anything else on your mind, honey?
No. It's good.
You feel complete?
I do. How about you?
Let's see. Yes.
Oh, good.
I feel complete. I'm glad to be home too.
Yeah, I'm glad to be home.
And I feel home.
Oh, that's good.
How about you?
I feel here.
You feel here?
Yes.
We got to go to the boat?
I feel here. I don't feel at home at the boat anymore, unfortunately.
No.
It's very grating energy going into the res, and it's just grating. I do not feel comfortable among people or crowds.
Yep, I understand that.
My physical body feels the illness, feels the unwellness and the death.
And the probably the stay awayeses and the
the energy,
combativeness
combativeness of it. You're not welcome here. Yeah, doesn't feel comfortable with that. So,
well, there isn't an easy resolution for that, is there?
nope. You just have to wait it out.
Just have to wait it out. Okay.
Yeah.
How about our fossil beach?
What about it?
Does that feel homey?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, this here, like here. This
Here.
is here, and the fossil beach is here.
Both of those are here.
Yes.
I guess I don't understand the difference between here and home.
Well, that's a whole new conversation. I thought we were complete.
We're
talking about groups. What's that feeling at home got to do with groups?
Well, I think the home and the here feeling and the group feeling are a little bit intertwined in this thread. That's why it came out.
Okay.
So, I'm here, but am I home? Here and home. I think you can see the difference, right?
Yes.
If I were home, like for example...
I know there's a difference. That's why I didn't say home.
I understand that. You're very...
Okay.
You understand that because I'm just elucidating.
Elucidating.
Yeah, you know the word, right? Elucidating.
Illuminating.
Talking about it.
Are you trying to be interesting, darling?
I was trying to use a big word to impress you.
Okay.
But I couldn't figure it out.
It worked. It made me laugh.
I think that is connected, honey.
Okay.
So if you're home, then you can like take your socks off, sit on the couch, put your feet up on the not the table. Well, I do, but
not when I'm there.
I often hear about it. Well,
Okay.
And if you're here, you probably leave your shoes on, or at least keep your feet on the floor. Right?
I usually walk with my feet on the floor.
So,
Okay.
I guess I feel more at home.
Yes.
Because my feet are not on the floor.
Good job.
But also with here, it's like I'm passing through here, and home is like I'm here and my roots are stuck in the ground.
Mm.
There's a connection to here.
Right.
That's called home. So how does I think that it's important for when you say find your tribe, that you create home with them in a sense, so that you're that comfortable together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's where I wanted to go with that.
All right.
So that was the bit that was still left hanging. That was the hanging, or the chad, or whatever they called that. Remember? You don't remember that, do you?
No.
In Florida, they had hanging chads.
Chads? Okay.
When you go to vote for the president. I remember that was they were voting for Bush and Gore.
Okay.
And Gore was the good environmental guy, and Bush was the whatever warmonger. And then Gore won, and then Bush won, and then Gore won, and then Bush won, and they're like super duper close tied. So it came down to Florida. Florida was the ones to make the decision up, and there was election papers that had hanging chads, and that's the little bit of paper that's there still. So if it had a hanging chad, then does it count or does it not count? Something like that.
Okay.
So it was decided by the chads.
Okay.
And you know how it went.
Yes.
Bush's brother or something was the governor of that state. So whichever way was in his favor worked out that way.
Yeah.
Anyway. Home.
Home.
Be home here.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, I feel complete now.
Excellent.
Love you, honey.
Love you too, darling. Too, darling. Too, darling. Too, darling. Too, darling.